What's up, everyone? Welcome to Vault of Rankings, where we break down the best of the best. Sports, entertainment, politics, you name it. If it can be ranked, we are ranking it. I'm your host, Alex, and today is a big one. Not just because we are talking football, but because this is the very first podcast of Vault of Rankings. And this is just the beginning. We'll be ranking everything from draft prospects to the biggest pop culture moments, wildest political shakeups, and whatever else deserves a spot on the top 5 list. And what better way to kick things off than the top 5 NFL draft prospects for 2025? The draft is more than a month away at the moment, but I believe this is the perfect time to break down who's making the biggest waves heading into the league. But before we get into it, can you please do me a favor? Can you please hit that like button like you're pancaking a defender? And subscribe like your team's about to draft a future Hall of Famer. Seriously, if you don't, I can't guarantee your team won't draft a bust. I don't make the rules. Alright, we'll be counting down from number 5 to number 1, analyzing what makes these guys special and why they could dominate on Sundays. So let's not waste any time, let's jump in. At number 5, coming in is Penn State's very own wrecking ball at tight end, Tyler Warren. And let me tell you, this guy is an absolute unit. If you watched Penn State at all this past season, you probably saw Warren doing just about everything. Lining up in line, slot receiver, even taking snaps as a wildcat quarterback. Oh yeah, he did that too. This man was practically a one-man wrecking crew. Now, let's talk about what makes him such a nightmare for defenders. First off, Warren is huge. We're talking 6'6", 260 pounds of pure football muscle. He's got a massive catch radius, and if the ball is anywhere near him, he's coming down with it. He's not exactly going to break ankles with his routine running, but here's the thing, he doesn't need to. When Warren gets moving, he just walls off defenders like an old school power forward in the paint. Good luck. Good luck to all out there trying to get through his body to make a play on the ball, because I don't think it's just going to happen. And then there's what he does after the catch. Have you ever seen one of those nature documentaries where a grizzly bear just shrugs off everything in its path? That's Tyler Warren for you. Defenders either bounce off him or get dragged for extra yardage, like they're clinging to a runaway train. This guy is a definition of a chain mover. You think you've got him wrapped up? Nope. He'll just keep those legs churning and turn a 5-yard catch into a 12-yard gain over and over and over again. And let's talk about his running game for the moment. When he's blocking, he's not just looking to engage defenders, he's practically looking to finish them off. Coaches out there, they love tight ends who can set the edge, and Warren takes pride in making life easier for his running backs. He's got that old school football mentality where blocking isn't just a chore, it's an opportunity to impose his will and whoever is unlucky enough to line up across from him. But then we get to the wildcat quarterback wrinkle. Look, we all love a good gadget play, but when Penn State put Warren back there, it wasn't just for show. He legitimately moved defenders with his sheer power. It wasn't pretty, but it was effective, and it showed the kind of versatility that NFL teams love in a modern tight end. Now, the obvious question is, how does he compare to the greats? Some scouts out there have thrown out the Big Gronk's name when talking about Warren. And while that comparison is a bit of a stretch, you can kind of understand where they're coming from. He's got the size, the same size, the toughness, and that knack, you can say, for making contested catches. Is he going to be as dominant as Pete Gronk? I mean, that's a tall order. But he's got a similar play style, and if he lands in the right system, he could become a major problem for NFL defenses. But all in all, I do believe that I don't believe actually, I know he's not perfect. I mean, Warren's not the most explosive route runner out there, and he's not going to shake defenders with quick cuts. He wins with size and strength, not finesse. So, if you're looking for a tight end who's going to create tons of separation, Warren's probably not your guy. But if you need a rock solid target who can make tough catches and bulldoze his way through traffic, just sign him up already. So, where does he fit at the next level? Honestly, I could see a team like the Baltimore Ravens loving this guy. They already know actually, how to utilize big physical tight ends, and Warren would fit right in with their style. Or maybe a team like the Cowboys. Dallas has always had success with strong, reliable tight ends, and Warren could be a perfect safety blanket for a quarterback who needs a dependable target. I mean, bottom line is this, that Tyler Warren is a beast. He's not the flashiest prospect in this draft, but he's one of the most reliable. Quarterbacks out there, they love guys who can bail them out on tough throws, and that's exactly what Warren does. He might not be a first round pick, but don't be surprised if we look back in a few years and wonder why he wasn't taken higher. Whichever team lands him is getting a rock solid player, that's for sure, who's going to make an impact from day one. Alright, that's number 5 on our list. Let's keep it rolling. Coming in at 4 is an absolute beast on the defensive line, Michigan's Mason Graham. So, if you're looking for a defensive tackle who lives in the trenches and, eats offensive linemen for breakfast, look no further than Mason Graham. This guy is a powerhouse. Michigan's defense was one of the nastiest in the country, and Graham was right at the heart of it. You want consistency? You want raw power? You want a guy who just wrecks game plans? That's Mason in a nutshell. I mean, just starting off, this dude's leverage is absolutely insane. He's always in the right position, never gets pushed around, and just dominates one-on-one matchups. He's got that wrestler background, and you see it when he plays. He knows how to use his hands, how to stay low, how to win battles in the trenches. Against the run, he's a menace. He attacks blockers with his ridiculous short area burst, stacks them up, finds the ball, and just tosses guys aside like they're nothing. And let's talk about his lateral range. This isn't some big body DT who just plugs gaps and calls it a day. Graham moves. He chases, plays down the line. He disrupts outside runs. And he's always kind of in the mix, making things happen. And his effort, relentless. He's got one of those highest motors in this draft class. And you can tell he's the kind of guy who just loves the grind. He absolutely loves it. Now, let's talk about pass rush. Mason's not just a run stuffer, he's got some legit tools when it comes to getting after the quarterback. That violent club rip move, deadly. His bull rush, overpowering. He's not a flashy finesse rusher, but he wins with power and tenacity. Offensive linemen absolutely hate facing guys like this because he just doesn't stop. Play after play, Mason keeps coming at you. Bottom line is this, that Mason is a game wrecker. He's not the guy who's going to rack up 15 sacks a season, but he's the guy who makes life miserable for offensive linemen every single snap. Any team looking for a tone-setting defensive tackle is going to have him high on their board. Alright, so now coming in at number 3 on our top 5 NFL draft prospects list, we've got Ashton Jeanty, running back. And let me tell you, this dude, he's electric. If you haven't watched him play yet, Please, please, please do yourself a favor and pull up his highlight reel because it is a thing of beauty. Now, Ashton isn't the biggest back out there. He's built low to the ground, kind of like a bowling ball with rocket boosters. And that's not a knock. If anything, it makes him even tougher to tackle. His balance is insane, his strength is unreal, and the way he just shrugs off defenders like they are just minor inconveniences. I mean, that's special to see. He also got this rare ability, you can say, to absorb hits and keep going, almost like he's bouncing off tacklers while barely slowing down. You think you've got him bottled up, and then boom, he's 10 yards downfield. And that's the thing with Ashton. It's not just about the power. He's got quick feet, excellent vision, and just this natural feel for the game. It's like he knows exactly when to hesitate, when to accelerate, and when to just put his head down and bulldoze through someone. You watch him on inside runs, and he just has this patience that reminds me a little of Le'Veon Bell, but then once he sees daylight, he explodes through the gap like prime Dalvin Cook. Now, what really separates him is what he does at the second level. Most running backs, when they break through the line, they've got a go-to move. Some guys like to juke, some guys use stiff arms, some guys just try to outrun everyone. But he's basically got all of these. He'll run through you, around you, or past you, whatever it takes. And more often than not, he wins those one-on-one battles. That's what makes him such a nightmare for defenders. You get him in space, and there's a good chance he's turning a 5-yard gain into a 30-yard play. Now, let's talk about the passing game. He's not exactly a polished route runner yet, but man, he's got some reliable hands. If you get him the ball in space, he knows what to do with it. He's not just a check down guy, he can make plays after the catch. And that's huge in today's NFL, where versatility is everything. But as I said, no prospect is perfect. And for Ashton, the big concern is ball security. 9 fumbles in the past 2 seasons. Yeah, I mean, that's not great. That's something he's going to have to clean up at the next level because NFL defensives will key in on that real quick. Coaches aren't going to tolerate a running back putting the ball on the ground. So, I mean, that's something to watch. Another area where he could improve is pass protection. Now, to be fair, he's not bad at it. He understands blitz pickup and he's not afraid to throw his body in front of a rusher. But he's not elite in that department yet. And in the NFL, if you can't pass protect, you're not going to be on the field on third down. So that's another area where teams will want to see some growth. But overall, he's a playmaker. He's got that rare mix of power, balance, and explosiveness that makes him a legitimate weapon at the next level. I personally see him as a mix of Dalvin Cook and J.K. Dobbins, just a smooth, powerful runner who can break off big plays at any moment. And in today's league, where running backs need to do a little bit of everything, Ashton fits right in. So yeah, he's not a perfect prospect, but the upside is just too good to ignore. If he lands in the right system, maybe somewhere with a good offensive line and a coach who knows how to use him, he could be an absolute steal in this draft. And I don't know about you, but personally, I cannot wait to see where he ends up. At number 2, we have Travis Hunter. This guy is just ridiculous. We are talking about a legit two-way superstar, like Deion Sanders level rare. And let's not forget, he actually played for Coach Prime at Colorado, which just adds to the whole narrative. You don't see dudes like this come around often. Hunter is the definition of a playmaker. He's got that lean, wiry sort of a frame, but don't let that fool you. He's an absolute technician, both as a cornerback and as a receiver. On defenses, he took a massive leap in 2024, really cleaning up his game. Early on, there were times when he'd take unnecessary risks, try to bait quarterbacks, and sometimes get burned. But this past season, totally different story. He became way more disciplined, relying on elite technique rather than just raw athleticism, and that ball tracking ability was absolutely unreal. 7 interceptions over the last 2 years, which tells you he's not just sticking to his man, he's hunting the football. Quarterbacks have to think twice before throwing his way, and even then, he's got the ability to make them regret it. Then, on the other side of the ball, man, he's just smooth. He's not some DB moonlighting as a receiver. He's a legit, polished route runner with insane body control. His releases are creative, he keeps defender guessing, and he never wastes motion. It's like he's gliding out there. Corners can't press him because he's always got a counter move, and once he's into his route, good luck. He's explosive at the top of his breaks, and his hands elite, like OBJ level highlight reel catches. He's got that rare ability to snatch the ball from outside his frame, make it look effortless, and then boom, turn into a problem after the catch. He's slippery, he's shifty, and while he might not have that true burner speed, he's got enough juice to make plays at the next level. The big question though, of course, and it's a real one, is durability. Playing both sides of the ball in college is one thing, but the NFL is a different beast altogether. Can he keep it up? We're talking about 17 game seasons plus playoffs if his team is good enough. That's a ton of wear and tear on a guy who isn't exactly built like a tank. Now, I'm not saying he's going to break down, but there's a reason even Dion, as great as he was, didn't play full time on both sides in the league. So, what's the move for Hunter in the NFL? I think he's got to major in defense and minor in offense. Keep him at cornerback, because let's be real, he's got all pro potential there. But sprinkle him off in on offense in key situations. Red zone, third down, trick plays. Absolutely. He's too talented to just shut down one side of his game completely. But expecting him to play 100 snaps a game on both sides, I don't think that's happening in long term. At the end of the day, I truly believe that Hunter is a game changer, plain and simple. He's the type of guy who makes plays that shift momentum, the type of player who makes fans jump out of their seats. He's got that rare must-watch quality, if I'm putting it the right way. And in today's NFL, where versatility and playmaking are king, he's going to be a weapon, no matter wherever he lines up. All right, so we have made it to number 1 now. And let me tell you, this guy, he's a straight up nightmare for offenses. If you're a quarterback, you don't just prepare for Abdul Carter. You pray you don't have to deal with him. You double team him. You slide pure protection his way. And guess what? None of it matters because Carter is that dude. Penn State has a history of producing absolute monsters on defense. Parsons, anyone? Micah Parsons? But Carter might be the scariest yet. He's not the biggest edge rusher in this class, but forget about measurables for a second, please. The guy is explosive. His first step is ridiculous. Like, blink and he's already in the backfield. And the way he bends around the edge, that's not normal. That's not. Most guys struggles to maintain balance when they are flying at full speed, but Carter, he flattens out and just hunts. It's like he's got a radar locked onto the quarterback. And let's talk about his pass rush arsenal, because he's not just relying on speed. He's got that nasty swip rip move that makes tackles look foolish. If they overset, thinking they can beat him to the outside, he's quick enough to counter back inside and wreck the play. And if the QB tries to climb the pocket to escape, just forget it. Carter has this natural ability to retrace and close down space so fast that it's game over. But he's not just a pass rusher. That's what makes him so dangerous. He can set the edge, press out, and control tight ends, and absolutely fly to chase down plays from the backside. There are dudes who are pass rushers, and there are guys who are all around game wreckers. Carter is the second one. He demands attention on every snap, and because of that, he's going to make life easier for every single defender around him. Offensive have to pick their poison. Do you double him or leave someone else free? Or do you try to handle him one-on-one and pray your tackle doesn't get embarrassed? Spoiler, most of them will. And here's the thing, he's only getting better. He's already a technician with elite athleticism, but as he adds more power to his game and keeps refining his moves, he's going to be unblockable. We're talking about a guy who could walk into the league and be an instant double-digit sack guy as a rookie. And long term, he's got Defensive Player of the Year potential. He's that disruptive. So yeah, I mean, if your team needs a pass rusher and they're sitting at the top of the draft, this is the guy. Abdul Carter isn't just an edge rusher. He's a problem. And there you have it. Our first ever podcast of Vault of Rankings is in the books. We just ran through the top 5 NFL draft prospects, and man, this class is stacked. These guys aren't just future stars. They are the type of players who can change the direction of a franchise from day one. I mean, Abdul Carter, a game wrecker. Travis Hunter, my apologies, one of the most dynamic two-way talents we have ever seen. And the rest of the top 5, straight up difference makers. I don't know about you, but I can't wait to see how this draft shakes out. But hey, this is just the beginning. We've got plenty more rankings, debates, and deep dives coming your way, so if you like this, make sure you stick around and hit the subscribe button. And if you've got any thoughts, predictions, or just want to argue about my list, hit me up. I want to hear it all. That's gonna do it for today. I'm Alex, signing off. Catch you next time on Vault of Rankings. Ciao.